Okay, I think I'm audible, visible. 1 second. Okay, perfect. Great. If anyone watching us from YouTube, please confirm that I'm audible and
Perfect.
visible perfectly. Okay, fine. I think yes. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Presto Foundation YouTube channel. I think people are still joining us. Okay, great. Hello, welcome everyone. This is Saurabh, the developer relation engineer for Presto. I work at IBM and taking care of all the open source efforts on Presto Foundation project. Today is very special guest with us. Uh, so hi Apoorv. We have Apoorv Garg with us. He's the founding engineer at Sylus AI, and today he will be sharing a detailed use case that how they are leveraging Presto in their data stack. And I'm very much happy that we are doing this, Apoorv, because uh, agentic AI with query engine is something that you guys are doing it, and so I'm very much excited and looking forward to learn that how Sylus AI and how you and your team is leveraging Presto at a large scale and to handle petabytes of data in your org. So that is something I'm very much personally I'm looking forward to learn that how you are doing it, and I hope our Presto community would be benefiting a lot from whatever challenges, learnings you had while implementing this in your infra side. So that is something I'm very much looking forward to. So Apoorv is a founding engineer at Sylus AI, and previously he was associated with Wells Fargo, and he's in IT industry for almost 4+ years, and he has cracked GSOC and part of Django Foundation. So over to you, Apoorv. I'm looking forward to learn that how you are leveraging Presto, how you are leveraging open source Presto in your data ecosystem and solving large scale customer problems or large scale data problems at your end. Over to you
Yeah.
and welcome again.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Saurabh, for the nice welcome. Hi, everyone. I'm Apoorv, already introduced by Saurabh, so I won't take up much time introducing myself. I think it would be better if I just jump straight to what we are going to talk about today, right? So, is it okay if I just start sharing my screen now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Can someone let me know if they are able to see my screen so I just don't talk?
Yes, it's visible, Apoorv. Complete.
Visible, right?
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. Again, so this is about Sylus engineering and how we have utilized Presto to achieve high performance analytics in our agentic AI stack. So, the question is like, how many of you have actually ever used AI to analyze data that lives in multiple different databases? Like, if I can see like some comments or some people facing this issue, it would be really amazing because that's the talk we are going to have today. That's the story for today with real production number. Sort of, are you seeing any comments or something that people are there seeing this problem or they have done that?
I'll let you know, Apoorv. Don't worry.
Okay.
In the meantime,
Okay. So I'll continue then.
yeah.
So what we have done is we have put an AI analyst on top of our customer data, and about 6 months ago we hit a wall where that had nothing to do with the AI actually. AI was perfectly working fine when it comes to one data source. Like it is talking to the data. People are getting to understand like how their data is there and what are the inferences they are getting from the data. So we we face some issues, like the story goes around this, like what was the issue and everything. But I believe Sylus is very new in the market, so I'll take some time explaining a little bit about what Sylus is, so people understand my terminologies, what I'm trying to explain during the whole thing. So let me go to what Sylus does. So let's imagine there's a user that types a question in plain English, something like, why did paid orders dip in Europe over the last month? An AI analyst reads that question and writes an SQL against the customer owned data. So just imagine there's a SQL database. You ask a question, why did the paid orders dip in Europe? The AI will go and understand the structure of the data, the semantics of the data, and will write an SQL from that. And it will run inside of the SQL query engine wherever the database is, and it will give us the result, and AI will validate it, and AI will say, hey, this is the perfect answer. We have got our answer, and this is a chart that we have created for you, and there's a short summary. So this is what Sylus is doing. Your data is not sitting in silos, but you are actually using them to get inferences out of that data. Now imagine this is a very small data set, maybe like kilobytes of data, which is very small, right? Human can look at the data, they can do the analysis. But when the data grows for very large company, as we have talked about petabytes, terabytes, how difficult it becomes for even a human analyst to look at all the data. So that's what we are trying to solve. We are trying to create an AI analyst that does the work for you. So if you look at the loop carefully, this is the loop, that where most of the people get stuck, even the human analyst. They write some queries, they run that in the query engine, they get the result back, and they evaluate, right? Same way our AI also does that. It evaluates. So you can understand how many round trips an AI will also make to get the final result, right? And this is very expensive because AI charges you per token. So for every round trip, you are getting charged by the AI model that you are using. So going to the AI side, like what AI doing end to end, right? I have listed down some of the abilities that we are providing as a party. So what user sees, they see a normal chat. Just open Sylus, you will see a chat just like ChatGPT or Claude, where you can see chat in the app and normal interface, like very friendly to the user, like they have been using AI for like maybe the past 3 years. Now, the AI analyst, that's the brain of our system. The whole system runs on this AI analyst, which decide what to look at. Like there are a bunch of tables in a database, but the data lies in a single table. So what to look at, read the result, understanding the results, and refine it. And then what it can do. After after the lookup part is done, where you have already, like created a plan of what you are going to run and everything, it runs a query and it draws a chart. Then we also have our own checks, so making sure like whatever users want to have some guardrails over it, like row level security or like some permission sets and groups and everything, then we have our own checks that we implies, which we are not trying to rely on the AI. We just rely on our end application end to to make it more secure. And then the Presto engine that I'm going to talk about, like what's the problem and what we are trying to solve, right? So just give me a sec for the Presto part. So now the Presto part actually comes in. Now imagine I have been talking about a single data source every time, but is that the true for every enterprise company? What, like, I don't know. Sorry, I mean, no. Many of our enterprise clients have almost like 6 different systems where the data is scattered. Like, just imagine, I as a company, I'm running Meta ads, Google ads, both are different data sources for us. And then we have our own application database. As a company, I'll be storing somewhere the data. And now imagine we have Shopify where I've been selling my product for. So you can imagine in even a small company, there are minimum 4 data sets that they are where their data is dispersed. Now let's say I try to ask one question. Hey, I did this campaign in Meta. Can you check how many orders I got it from that campaign? So these kind of the questions that we are trying to answer. Now, this involves two system minimum, Meta Ads and the Shopify, and wherever the orders will live. It could be inside my app database as well. So you can imagine the workflow is very difficult and very different for AI to understand like how many databases, and this is the ecosystem that we are trying to deal with. So guys, also, if you have any questions, you can just ask me. If you think my pace is high, just please let me know, right? So yeah, just wanted to say that because I was thinking I was going a little fast. Sorry. So yes, as I said, the question that hurts were the ones that need two systems at once, right? Marketing data lives in one place, order data in another, and you just don't care about that. You just want the final answer because that's what they are paying for. Now, um, yes, I'll try to explain you what we were trying to do before there was no Presto in our system. So as I mentioned, we were using a AI analyst. Just think the AI analyst, a user prompts again the same prompt like what happened to the campaign and how many orders I received from that particular campaign. So what AI analyst in our case without the Presto would do is it will go to the AI analyst and it will see, hey, how many data sources it's trying to contact to, right? And then because it understands the semantic of the questions, by understanding the semantic, it will understand, hey, this question needs answers from two data sources. One is, let's say, the Meta Ads, and the other one, let's say, the Postgres app. Okay. Now, it will make two parallel calls, getting some sample data from both of them, and both of them are very different data, right? So the first query it will write, it will go in a loop and first try to validate if this is the correct query that I have written or not. And then in the second part, it will again try to understand if this query is written or not. So, right, almost you can see like 38K of tokens burned in two queries, right? Now the AI is getting the responsibility to join the data as well. Like now, whatever the campaigns were there and whatever the data is in the Postgres, we are trying to join them, and AI will burn more tokens because it's trying to catch the relevance between these two, which have been very obvious because of the database as well, which AI doesn't need to do at all. So that's what the like we are trying to solve now. So what one answer costs? AI, as I told you, AI bills you per token. So that's where I'm saying like 9K, 6K, and this is the raw rows pulled into the model just for joining two different data sources. And we are burning around 80K tokens. This is what we noticed. And the total burn was like 118K tokens with a $0.41. Imagine just for one question, we are doing this. And at the scale, just to show you at our scale, we are getting asked 452,000 queries per day. We are having 310 terabytes of data read per day. So you can imagine at that scale, this number will hurt us very, very greatly, like 0.41 into 452. It's going to be a big amount in our bill just for something that we could avoid. Not just the cost, actually, you'll also see that the more times it takes, there is an eval loop going on, right? This things run, it asks the question, it tries to join, maybe it didn't join it properly, right? It will try to again ask two data sources again. So 30K tokens once, then 40K tokens, then plus 17K, and then again a eval loop will run, which will double the amount, and then it will triple the amount if it is not getting to the data. So this amount can increase very high if we are not able to join it properly with the AI, and which is a straightforward answer. So it wasn't just expensive, it was wrong as well. Joining on sample, results get cut down, right? Because we are asking the AI to learn the semantic, and all the all the samples that we were passing might not justify the whole case. So the joins on sample with a very small subset, I mean, is not going to give us the very accurate answers. When we are trying to build a dashboard where people are relying it to show to their bosses, right? Can we even allow a 0.1% of mistake in our AI? Not at all. So if imagine we are using samples database sampling, and we are saying joins are done by AI, we could really risk of getting even a um, like shorthand by 2%, and it would really kill us in the trust factor. Like, hey, I gave the answer wrong, right? And we cannot avoid we cannot absolutely do that. So that is another thing. And the failure three is the retry route. If one bad merge, as I explained, happened, then the context will fill up again, and it will cost us very heavily for one question. Now, after doing a lot of processes, understanding like what's the problem, we thought we are actually adjusting the question to the data. Rather, we should adjust the question to the data rather than putting all the data to the model. So here is the fix that we did. Database figured this out 50 years ago, by the way. You do not drag rows to the computation. You push the computation down to where the row lives, right? That's how we have been writing all the queries so far. So we drifted down and into violating that principle, and one reasonable looking design decision at a time. So that's where we realized, like, what if there's an engine that will do the work for us? AI will not talk to 6 separate databases, but it will talk to a single data source that talks to 6 different data sources for us. So it brings out a very simple loop for us. AI just see one face of it, and that's all. AI just sit in the middle of our query engine and the user, and all the data sources, like whatever data sources are, just sit above the Presto engine, and it will do the work for us. So that's how we started with Presto, and we used the 0.293 version with one coordinator and 50 workers. That was like good enough for us when we started. So let's see how it fits our case, right? So looking at the AI analyst, instead of writing two parallel queries, it just writes one final SQL query that Presto understands. We I'll talk a little about how AI understands the Presto query. But first, let's understand the workflow, the big major chunk of workflow. So let's say the same question again. I asked, right, the meta ad campaigns, how they affected my orders in my enterprise, right? So now AI will actually write a Presto query with our guardrails and permission checks. As I told you, it's done in application, and it will pass that query to the coordinator. Now the Presto coordinator actually does all the work for us. It writes the query to their own separate. It actually plans, by the way. Coordinator just plans and everything, and it passes those tasks, to the workers. So worker are the real place where everything runs, like the query aggregation and everything will run. So let's say two database sources are identified by the AI. Now the coordinator will understand, like, okay, two database queries needs to be made, and then it will pass those things to the worker, and every join will happen there, and it will get the data for us. And that data, the exact data that AI wants to understand, it will just understand that data, and it will eval on that. Instead of evaluating the two queries, now it just become one query. Very straightforward. We just put a query engine in between, and it solves like three problems for us that I just showed. Now, yes. Now let's see, we as a SaaS company, we have like a lot of customers, right? How we decided, like, how we can save, railguard some of the customers with not connecting to their customer data source. So this is something that we tried. We run so many organizations through one engine, and we did isolation at the catalog layer. So whatever checks we could apply, we applied everything on, using the name per organization. We also tried saving this by adding some checks on the gateway, like prompt injection didn't leak. Like, let's say I am an enterprise company, like I'm the customer one, and another customer, tries proactively to try my AI answer. Hey, can you answer about the customer two data set also? So we also ensure these kind of security at the application level, that it will never leak anyone's data at the catalog layer. That's why like this is something very important that we had to do. The cross tenant join is like blocked with an error. Now, yeah. So as we were talking about like the Presto, right? The Presto, the most important part, like Presto has two things. One is the coordinator, and then there's so many workers. So let's talk about what the coordinator does for us. So if you look at this coordinator, let me give you some idea how we made this coordinator deployed actually. We took one machine with like 32 cores and 256 GB. And I think this is what the Presto DB also refers you. So, oh, sorry. Also refers you. So you can take a look. Like because we were very new to Presto, so we just wanted to be start with very basic and understand how things actually work. So we took like 256 gigabytes of RAM and noticed like it never touches data, right? Now, what brain does it parses the SQL, it builds plan, it schedules tasks, and tracks every query in flight. Planning half a million queries a day is real work. So you can understand like all of this is done by the coordinator in Presto. So this box gets tuned with care. And there are two lessons on this slide that you can actually understand. Like uh, even if you never run Presto in life, the Java settings I would like to show you. Like this is some of the things that we set. Like keep gets like 200 of 256 GB and never more. And then we also made some of the configs. So we are always, not going to the error part like our coordinator will die. Also, we had a backup in case a coordinator dies because we need to make sure the availability part as well. But these were some of the settings that I would really emphasize on, that we had to make sure when we productionize it. So it just, you can take a look there. Yeah. And then also if you like get greedy out of memory, you need to be make sure like running this for the first time was a little difficult for us as well. So we experimented and figured out these some of the queries, like how we can save it, and like maximum queries. Like these all were the safety caps that we realized after we made that error. So whatever you are seeing here is when we did something, it didn't work out, and we had to figure out like, hey, what's the capabilities that we need to set, and what kind of configurations we need to set in our coordinator so that it works perfectly fine. And then the muscles, right? The brain is like the coordinator, and the muscle is like the 50 workers. These are the ones that doing all the tasks. So we decided again on how many workers. Like the first question that we actually had was how many workers we need. So we still trying to figure out like how these kind of things are calculated. Like so we decided to go with a very base number that meets our customers data, also like looking at their sizes and everything, and what kind of questions that they have asked, and what types of failures we have faced, because we had very less workers. So I don't know how other people do, how they decide how many workers they need, but this is what we did on understanding like how many workers we can have. So we started with like a minimum of 50 workers, and we created like a pool of 4.8 terabytes for the query working memory. So if you ask a very like, even someone is trying to ask for a very huge amount of data, we are able to answer it because we have like 50 workers, and it will do the work for us. So that's where like we decided. You can see some of the like configuration that we set, like seeding per query like 110 GB, working memory per query like 96 GB, and headroom like 24 GB. And we also had some local SDD which cost a lot, like 1.9 terabytes. Also local SSD we use. They are slow, but they help us in work in case we are not able to use the like the memory inside of the worker. So yes, so these are the kind of queries that our AI analyst writes now. Like this is what it will write: like select c dot name as campaign, count distinct o dot customer ID as repeat buyer, round, and everything. You can see how it is understanding like this was a Postgres app, and this is an iceberg, and how joins are made. Earlier these joins, sorry, earlier these joins were made inside of the AI, and which were costing us a lot. Now these joins are done inside of the workers in the Presto workers. So saves us and gives the accuracy and saves us of the round trips. So let's go through some of the workflow, like what happens, when the AI generates one SQL statement. When the AI generates one SQL statement, a logical plan is built inside of the coordinator, a cost-based optimizer, and a physical plan, which will be pushed down to each sources. So let's say we had two data sources, Postgres app and Iceberg Lake. So in the both of them, this query will run inside of their own engine, the Postgres engine and the Iceberg engine, and the result that we'll get, it would be aggregated inside of the worker. You can see here, final join and aggregation will handle on the 50 workers and across the internet, and we'll just extract the data that we need. So if we need just 20 rows, we'll take those 20 rows and we'll pass it to the AI, and this becomes our single loop, because we have someone else doing the parallel work for us. So this is the difference that we saw. In context federation, you can see when we were trying to federate it ourselves inside of our servers and AI, it was costing us like 118K tokens, which now reduced to 19K tokens with the help of AI. So this is the level of savings that we did. And I've been talking about a lot of tokens. This is the AI era. Everyone talks about tokens and tokens, but not just tokens. It also helps us in saving the time. Earlier, a query was taking like 74 seconds to answer. Now it just takes like 12 seconds, like 6x faster. And imagine, like, you're talking to terabytes of data and you are saying, I'm giving you the results in 12 seconds. Everyone gets amazed whenever they ask, question in Sylus, and they are seeing the reasoning and the results are getting spit out in like 12 seconds. So this has been like, this result also gives us more boost, and definitely the cost. Like, you can see from $0.41 to 0.07, like we are saving 83% in our cost for one question. And as I told you, like 452 queries per day, it's a lot, like we are able to save. And as I said, on a sample, and now we are using Presto, so it's the accuracy has increased as well. So we are leveraging Presto, the query engine, to give us more accurate answer, faster results, and low cost. So this is one of the graphs that I would like to highlight, which definitely shows how things have been scaled for us in terms of cost, speed, and scale without Presto. So I've been talking about these numbers. So there's some nice graphs that I would like to show. And you can also see like monthly AI spend as question grows, right? So with Presto, you can see this has been 0.07 per question. And one interesting fact, this cost was calculated on just two data sources. But on this basis, 40 questions per month, this is agnostic of data sources now. This is one of the key factor that I need to think when I was drawing this graph, right? If you see this blue line, this is for two data sources. If I add one more data sources, this line will increase a little more. If I add four, it will increase. If I add five, it will increase more. So yeah, like it will keep on increasing like this and like this and this, because the data sources are increasing. But in case of Presto, that's the amazing thing. With Presto, this line is going to be a constant. It will be changed little bit, but not a lot, because no aggregations are happening inside of our in AI. It's happening in Presto. Like, so this is amazing. Like, if you look at mathematically how much it saves us. Yeah. Sorry, how to clear this? Mhm. How can I clear this one? Oh, sorry, I'm not able to clear this. Um, I'm a little new to Zoom. Sorry.
Yeah, no issues. Apoorv, you can just
Okay.
erase
Sorry.
that. Yeah, yeah.
How can I erase this? Like, that's my. I'm not able to see the control,
Oh,
like on annotate.
1 second. Let me You can reshare the screen again. I think it.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry for that, guys.
No issues. You can reshare again your screen. Done.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Continuing. We are almost near the end of the talk, by the way. But yeah. So there's one interesting question, that actually my founder asked me, like, hey, we are actually saving a cost. Like he was seeing the impact of Presto, but he asked me if we are introducing something that is going to run 50 workers, one coordinator, one backup. He was just curious, like how much it's gonna cost us. So so this is something that I had to do it for him, and I really wanted to show it to everyone to see the honest math, right? So with 50 workers, we are now paying like 42K thousand per month. We did some commits. So like if you reserve on AWS, you actually can save money, but still it costs us, we are paying for this amount of infrastructure, coordinator plus standby, like 3K per month. So this is something that we are also have to incur it because we have deployed Presto on our own. But the interesting fact is, like, no matter you use Presto or not, these kind of costs are gonna come in later or like at that point for us anyways. Because when you have to deal with like terabytes of data, like there's no other way around. Like you have to vertically scale some at some point, and then you go for the horizontal scaling, right? So we try to go for the vertical scale first. It didn't work out. Like we cannot exceed that limit, and then we realize if we try to go with our own servers also, like in context, we want to do it in ourselves, it's going to be like reinventing the wheel, which doesn't bring out the benefit. So this is the comparison, not with how many money we are saving, but if we have to do it in our own infrastructure at terabyte of scale, it actually saves us a lot of money in that sense. So confusing statement. So I'll reiterate again. This comparison that I'm showing, I'm not showing that the money that we save from the token, is getting into this Presto. But if we have to scale the level where we are handling terabytes of data, the infrastructure cost anyhow booms us, at a very big level. And for having Presto in between actually makes it more manageable for us. We have like a lot of functionality extra that helps us using this. So that's what the comparison is that I wanted to show. So the whole product, like 13.7 million queries per month, we are saving like 0.003 per query even now, even with this infrastructure. So anyhow, this is a good thing for us. And yes, so this was the maths that I took and I showed to the founder. One second. Yeah. So this is going to, I'm just reiterate some of the takeaways that we as a team understood when we integrated Presto, and I would like everyone to think in that manner. Like one is tokens are a data transfer cost, right? Meter every row that enters the model the way you enter meter network egress, because it is the same kind of bill at 100 times the rate. So the day we built, that per question, how many tokens per question cost for the token dashboard and everything, this everything what we have done so far become very obvious, very obvious. Trust me. I would I would also, think from the second perspective. Federation makes like six system look like one database, which have been the core idea that I have been trying to explain. Like AI, instead of looping multiple data sources, loops only single one, makes it easier, makes it scalable, and every check, every permission check is also, very, very easy to do from that from that scale. Like our customers are coming with like 10 data sources, 11 data sources. Some of our customers have been coming with like maybe two or three as well. But once the base of the infrastructure is ready with us now with with the federation, it has been very easy. Any customer comes in, they want to plug in like no matter how many databases, the infrastructure is there now. The federation layer is complete. It works. It's already handling terabytes. So that kind of scale we have already reached very, uh, in very short time, because the product speaks about itself. And uh, we are not 100% like relying on the hallucination of AI also. And the thing is, we have been working with AI for a long while. We have seen, how it turns around, how sometimes it doesn't understand the context, and it's just not like a wrapper. Writing agents, writing the tool calls, writing how the Presto query, when written once by our AI, it should be perfect. As a human, if I write any query right now, I need to make sure at least there are no compilation error. So how we have created all those eval groups, all those things, we are just not relying on the prompt, but also on the engine now. So these are some of the takeaways that we realized, and none of this, improvement needed a smarter model or a bigger context window. It just needed, something that database have been doing for a long while, and we just use it very precisely in our AI stack. So yes, that's all from my end. And these are some of the things that I collected for everyone, so they can just see like how, when we were just searching through. Most of them are directly to the PrestoDB. We also did some comparison with Trino, and we searched about Athena also. So like we did a lot of research when it comes to databases. So just you can ask any question as well. So yeah, uh, that's all from my side. Thank you, everyone. I'm up for question. I'm ready for questions.
Yeah, that was great, Apoorv. Before I say anything, I'm just waiting for any questions in the chat box. Folks, if you are watching us live, please drop your question or query in the chat box. Um, I'll pass it on to Apoorv, and I think he would be able to uh, help you with the same. So, yes. So, Apoorv, to be honest, I'm stuck on one thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please see.
You guys are running 500,000 query per day. That's huge, man.
Yeah,
That's, to be honest, very huge. 500,000 query per day, not per month. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh my God. I think
you
that's,
should see like how AI has been. People have been using it. It's
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
And I loved your analysis on I think the reduced token usage, right, that you shown 6 times faster query performance that Presto is known
yeah.
for. I'm not surprised on that part. That Yeah, I totally go with that. But yeah, the kind of token usage and the kind of AI cost, 84% of AI cost reduction, that's huge. That's really impressive, Apoorv. And I'm very much glad that the kind of data analysis you guys are doing on the customer side with the help of Presto. That's huge, because running a 500,000 query per day is not a small thing, to be honest. And when you are dealing with terabytes of, I think your data lake, I think it's of terabytes of data, you as you mentioned. So I think that's very huge. And one of our viewers, Aditi, saying the presentation was super insightful. Thank you, Aditi. And I think the whole credit goes to Apoorv and his wonderful team. And thank you so much, Apoorv, for giving out that insight that you guys are, and that the kind of level or the kind of scale you are leveraging Presto at, right, at Sylus. That's really impressive. I'm looking forward that after 6 months or after a quarter, what scale you guys will be leveraging Presto at, and what kind of optimization, query optimization, or what kind of, I think, new connectors you will be contributing to in open source
Yeah.
or whatever. And I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. The kind
Yeah.
of combination that you guys have made in the production side, in at the real world scenarios to solve customer problems with agentic AI and query engine. That's really impressive on and without using any vendor lock-in and anything, right? The completely using open source Presto that showcase that the kind of community work our contributors, our developers are doing in open source Presto. That's really
Yeah.
impressive, and that's a shout out to them actually, right? That kind
Yeah.
of
Thank you.
and
Thank you so much for building this.
yeah, and thank you as well, Apoorv, for doing this, because I think that was much needed, and I believe our community members who will be watching this, who are watching now or who will be watching later, will be have lots of learning from this. And I believe if they have any questions and anything, please guys join us on Slack. I have mentioned all the links in the description box of this YouTube video and in this live. So you will please join our Slack channel. That's our basically communication channel where we communicate. We all discuss if you have any query related to Presto, or if you are using production, if you are using Presto in production at whatever scale, right? Please let me know. We would love to highlight your story, similar to Silas, as we did with Silas. And yeah, any questions from viewers, anyone who is watching us, that would be, I think, great, and Apoorv would be able to help. And after that, we will wrap up. Uh, Anything? Okay. I think we don't have any questions. I think you have really explained really well. Apoorv,
Oh my
I
God. I was not as okay. That I'll give a pat to myself as that
yeah,
much.
absolutely. You deserve that. So, but really well. I think the kind of scale that you are operating Presto at, it's really huge, and the kind of cost savings that you mentioned, and the kind of um, compute that you are using with Presto, that's, to be honest, very really impressive, really impressive. And I'm looking forward to invite you again. I
Yeah.
think after a few months. And I would be looking forward that what kind of new things you will be doing in your data stack with
Mm,
Presto. So I'm
definitely.
definitely looking forward to it. So thank you so much, Apoorv. Thank you so much for doing this, and thank you all our viewers, all our community members, Presto folks, who are using Presto or who are looking forward to learn more about Presto. Next month, we will be having a hands-on workshop. I'll be announcing it that in our Slack channel, in our Slack community. So if you are not part of that Slack channel yet, please join that. That would be great. And you can ask any questions with Apoorv as well related to
Yeah.
today's talk. So Apoorv is already there on Slack channel. So if anything you want to ask, feel free to reach out. Feel free to join our Slack channel and join us. And if you are using Presto in production, just shoot me a DM. Definitely, I would love to highlight your use case for the community, and we would love to learn with your experience. Right. So thank you so much again, all the viewers, and especially Abdul. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye. Have a nice day. Bye.